It's been over a year since I last uploaded, which is pretty funny since I promised that I'd have something for you guys in 2024. But anyway, I feel like I needed to return to Ifagor at some point to finish the region because Fakemon in general is something I've wanted to make videos about, but I'll delve into that later. For now, I should probably reintroduce myself. Hey everyone, Ifagor here, and it's been a year since I've seen you guys. No New Year buns this time. Last time I uploaded was like almost 400 days ago, which gives me a little bit of anxiety, and that last video was a 12-hour Fakemon challenge, where I sat in a room for half a day and did nothing but draw. I ended the video with 6 designs that I loved, being the final Fakemon that I made of 2023. Or were they? I'd been sitting on the recordings for that video for a few months before I started editing, and in the meantime a number of things happened that I'll go over in this video, which will eventually lead up to today, the day that I'm recording and likely uploading this video. In the background you might also see some speed paints as well, just as some background footage that you haven't seen yet. So let's get into it. Our story starts back in the second half of 2023. Do you remember when I did that collaboration back in June of last year? The one where I teamed up with some fellow Fakemon YouTubers to create some Fakemon based on the prompts that we made? In October, one of them contacted me to join a significantly larger Fakemon collaboration, where about 151 artists would come together to create 151 Pokemon, with each artist making one to contribute. I think I only made the cut there because I previously worked with them, and if it was someone else I probably wouldn't have even known about it. Nevertheless, I accepted the invite, which turned out to be both a great and stupid decision for me, as the cons of this project heavily outweigh the pros. Not only was the person in charge, who I want to identify as to not tarnish their reputation, sort of inexperienced at managing a group of over 100 people, but their inability to tell the difference between AI-generated imagery and hand-drawn art, as well as the lack of publicity or revenue given by them, tore the collaboration to shreds. It was really unfortunate, since a lot of people on the project loved the idea, including myself, but it went out with a whimper before we could even bring the project to its potential. In the commotion, however, I managed to make some new friends, and I joined a community of other Fakemon artists that includes some people I even looked up to before I joined, some of which that I've taken inspiration from for Fakemon designs, and some that are also fellow Australians like myself. But another great thing this did was show me how much effort I could put into my Fakemon design, and with my prompt being Crystallized Creature for the collaboration, this is how I created Sediment, the opalescent Pokemon, a bug and rock type. Sedimant's exoskeleton is reinforced with strong crystallized materials, using their razor-sharp pincers to carefully and accurately extract raw materials buried beneath the ground. Their crystallized abdomens also act as a source of light, helping them see in the dark, whilst also warding off predators with its glow. Sediment is, to this day, still one of my favourite Fakemon I've made, and it goes to show you that you really don't know if something's truly for the better or the worse, like this collaboration that I was doing. But Sediment wasn't the last Fakemon of the year like I was saying before. Following this project, I'd continued to work on Australian Fakemon. At this point, around December, some friends and I had been planning a plot of a Pokemon game set in my region, which is based on Australia if you didn't know already. We had the idea to make a properly polished game out of it, but with the majority of us doing some form of education, time wasn't easy to come by. But maybe later I might revisit the idea of making a game. Now, I live in Victoria, one of Australia's states, and in my opinion, factually, it's the best one. Its capital, Melbourne, is well known for street art in general, hook turns, and a not crap coffee culture. I hate coffee, it tastes like rubbish, but I can't just deny something that Melbourne is quite well known for. A quick fun fact for you, some Americans tried to bring Starbucks over to Australia and it failed horribly because of the strong coffee culture that we have here. I guess people don't like drinking caffeinated sugar, but me personally, I don't understand why people drink caffeinated water at all. With coffee being a popular beverage, similar to tea actually, I knew I had to make a regional variant of a well-known beverage Pokemon. So, around this December time, I ended up drawing Shinies, the caffeine Pokemon, a ghost and dark type. Due to a larger popularity of coffee in this region, Shinies instead inhabit coffee mugs. Leftover coffee and stains on these cups have resulted in Shinies tasting more and more like the drink itself. It's pretty funny that its name is Shinies despite being coffee and not tea. but I'm gonna ignore that, just like how Alolan Sandslash is an ice type despite having sand in its name. I mean, that's really how regional forms work after all. I knew that I wanted Sinister's evolution to be a different species to Poltegeist though, as it inhabits a disposable coffee cup rather than a teapot, and I also like the idea of branching evolution lines. So when you give this regional Sinister a disposable cup, it evolves into Apparate, the latte Pokemon, a ghost and dark type. Apparate like to sit in warm areas to heat up the coffee inside the cup they inhabit. The aroma created attracts many people, who, upon tasting Apparate's coffee, will immediately lose all of their energy and fall asleep. Sinister and Apparate are the ace line of the Melbourne gym leader, who specialises in dark types. And also, Apparate was actually my final Fakemon of 2024, and after my last upload I sort of fizzled out of designing them. Over the first 4 months I really only made 2 Fakemon, both slumber forms for 2 other starters for my region, but I'll cover that in another video when I end up designing the rest of the starter slumber forms. Sometime about May, however, it was one of my friend's birthdays. He's the one that makes all the Shinies for my Fakemon, and he was not very impressed with my lack of motivation. So I decided to create 4 Fakemon for him. A regional Sableye, first of all, based on Australia's Gold Rush, a blue-ringed or rainbow octopus sort of Fakemon and its evolution, which were named Cuddlefreeze and Psychopus. I might need to work on the names. And an unnamed thingamajig that I honestly don't have a proper inspiration for. Originally, they were supposed to be a lore-related Fakemon, similar to Unknown and its ties to both Sinnoh and Johto's creation, but I based it on these wisp-like things from the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom title screen. Don't make fun of me. I admit it makes little to no sense. But even without a concrete concept, I think this little guy could definitely hold some hefty history of the region. Those 4 Fakemon were the ones that I made for my friend's birthday, and that last one I'll go over in another video when I talk about lore-related Pokemon. And my friend was a little bit happier that I had actually gone out of the way and designed something for once in a while. He and I both agreed that I improved a lot in my art style since the end of last year. A month later, I decided to work on some of the characters for the region's story, designing the player's rival and the Dark-type gym leader I mentioned before. Because I was sort of getting back into the feel of drawing after being off and on for the past half a year, I designed a convergent Diglett and Dugtrio that evolved from a different ancient species to bear similarities to Diglett, but instead taking the resemblance of cricket wickets. These two are called Wicklet and Stumptrio. Both are pure grass types. Following this, I also designed original Wooloo, which is based on this region's gimmick, as well as the association between sheep and sleeping, and the abundance of sheep in Australia. These 3 Fakemon were some additions that I was proud of, and I plan on evolving Wooloo into a regional double and then further into a new Fakemon in the future in another video. Then we finally get to the end of 2024. With a record low of the amount of Fakemon I made in a year, I wasn't very happy with myself, instead opting to continue working on a story for this Fakemon region I'm creating. Determined to make some form of comeback to YouTube, I designed the 2 protagonist trainers and the assistant professor of the region, as well as one of the legendaries, all of which I'll talk about in another video when I finish designing the rest of the legendaries and characters. So, now what? It's nearing the end of January. On the 27th it'll be iForgore's 3-year anniversary, and it's been almost 400 days since I last uploaded. Hopefully this year I can focus more on the story of this region, the people, the Pokemon, and the environment, and how they all interact. This region I've decided to give the name of Sumia, and in the future you'll witness how the events of a hypothetical Pokemon game set in the region of Sumia will unfold. This channel is, after all, just a medium for me to share my ideas and Fakemon with those that want to watch it. I don't mind taking a whole year to make a video if I don't feel satisfied with other aspects of my life or my ability to draw, which, by the way, wasn't the case over 2024. I'm just a big procrastinator. I hope you enjoyed this update, even if all of a sudden, and whenever I see you next, I'll see you for more Fakemon. See you soon.